What's going on with the beautiful people today? How are y'all, man? How y'all doing? I hope you're having a good day. I really do. All right. So, you know, I get asked all the time, like, Cash, you're so positive, man. Why are you so positive all the time? Why, how do you do it? And I'm like, honestly, bro, I really, I rely on God. I know it's cliche. That's cliche, man. Uh, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Now, I could give you all types of different stories from my life. First off, let me just ask you guys this. Can y'all hear me okay? Because I got my mic set up different. I got it down more. So can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me okay before I get this thing going? Before I start doing this? Let me know in the comment section. Can y'all hear me? Am I good? Am I clear? Am I loud? I hope I am. But yeah, so check it out. I get all kind of questions. They're like, yo, bro, you stay so positive. You've been through so much. And really, they only know about like the January 6th thing. That's the biggest thing that people relate to me to, that are, new followers, new subscribers, new family, really, because my following isn't a following of just people. Like, we connect, you know what I'm saying? So you guys are like family. But that's the thing that they relate to me. They're like, yo, January 6th was so rough, and I can't believe you went through this. But it's even beyond all of that, right? So I can go way back. I can tell you all types of different stories, but one I'm gonna give you is, I was homeless. I was homeless at 14 years old. Troubled youth, gang banging, two pistols, all the time, sleeping on abandoned porches, addicted to cocaine, alcohol, all types of stuff. And I've always felt close to God, even when I was far away, I still found myself, talking to God, even in those instances, right? So, I look at all of those times. I look at, abuses that I went through as a child, being hungry. This is a story I'm gonna give you guys. My grandfather, not my biological grandfather, but he was my first grandfather that I knew. He was like my safe place, my pawpaw. He was my safe place. And he died right in front of me when I was, 6, 7 years old, taking me to school. He was picking me up to take me to school. And we're going, and he starts to have a heart attack because, he did drugs, coke, crack, all of that, everything. And he had a neck brace that he always wore because he had a neck injury from when he worked at the steel manufacturer at Inland Steel. And he picked me up to take me to school that day. We dropped off my older sister, and we're driving, and I'll never forget it. We was right by the railroad tracks. He's about to pull out to make a turn before he stopped at the stop sign, and he started breathing heavy, and he's looking dead in my eyes, and I'm looking at him because this was like my pawpaw was everything. He was my everything. And he started choking. He looked dead in my eyes, and I watched my pawpaw pass away. The car continued to roll into the street. And as the car continued to roll in the street, a semi came in, boom, smacked the car, made the whole car jump and turn sideways. And the truck driver just kept on going. And I don't know what happened inside. Well, I do know it was God. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a kid. I put the car in park. All right. And this guy comes from the back seat or from the behind us, and he runs and opens the door and he starts doing CPR. I get out the car and I run. I ran as fast as I could to go home. And when I went home, I told my mom. My mom's on the phone with the police, and the police come, and it was something. It was a crazy experience. So that whole day, I'm praying to God, even as a kid. I'm praying to God, leaning on God. And I'm like, he's going to be okay. He's going to be fine. The ambulance got there. He's going to be fine. But, remembering it now, he was blue by the time they pulled him out that car, and I seen him put him on a stretcher. And I went to school that day, and I get picked up from school by somebody who never came to get me from school. So, and I'm walking home, and they're talking to me, having this conversation, trying to prepare me for something. And when I get there, I see my mom sitting on the steps. And as she's sitting there, I look over, I say, is Papa okay? Papa's fine. And my mom goes, no, baby, I started falling. And at this age, I took myself and I laid myself in the street. I laid down in the middle of the street and was hoping that a car would come and run me over as a child, because my life at that time, it was bad, man. It was bad. I was going through a lot of things as a child that, child shouldn't have to go through, but sometimes life happens, you know what I mean? But that night, I had a dream of this big old rock, and I was inside the rock. I walked inside the rock, and my pawpaw came inside the rock. It was like a big old boulder, like a big giant rock. And he came in and he told me that everything was fine. Everything's okay. He's okay, and not to worry. So it was like kind of comforting. You know what I'm saying? I see you all in the comments. I appreciate all of y'all, bro. My bro, appreciate you, bro. I see you too. And thank you for the congratulations on the baby, guys. I appreciate it. But even at that early age, I was leaning on God, and God, I feel like God gave me that dream to comfort me. Like everything's cool, So when I look at all of you all and I see your posts, because don't think that I don't, I see your posts, I see your comments. And sometimes, man, I be like, dang, I feel bad, because I read some of y'all stuff and it's like, they're going through a lot. They're going through some things. I see the post on Facebook, and everybody, y'all be conscious, man. I see the post on X. Be conscious when you guys are looking at people's feeds, right? When somebody posts something on Facebook or wherever they post them from, and it's a message of despair, like they're upset, they're seeking somebody to come and say, yo, you all right? You good? Are you okay? You want to talk? Do that. You know what I'm saying? I do it a lot. I do it a lot. I probably look crazy. But I do. I comment on people's stuff and I'm like, hey, you good? You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about something? And it goes a long way, man. It goes a long way. But I wanted to read this to you guys because this verse is a passage really that got me through. All right. A lot of times this became one of my favorite passages as a child, and it stuck with me all the way through my life. Right. And it's just a reminder. I want y'all to remember this. All right. It's Psalms 121. Say, I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. The Lord shall preserve your going out and your coming in from this time and even forevermore. So that right there is telling you, all right, keep God right here, man. When you are in despair, you're in the pit. And that's how I look at that, right? When you're down low, at your lowest point, you gotta look up. You gotta look up to the hill because your help comes from God. Yeah. Other people can help you out of a time, but it's going to be God that sends them to you. All right. Every single time. I don't care if it's a minor thing or it's a major thing. When you're going through something, you cannot forget to lean on God. That's your way out. That's your way through. It may not even be out. You might have to go through what you're going through. And if you keep leaning on God, you will make it through. You will make it through. He'll pull you through the storm. He's always pulled me through my roughest ones, my roughest times. God pulled me through. So my strength isn't my own. The strength that you all think that I have or that you see me have, it's not. It's trust. That's what it is. It's not strength. I don't got no strength of my own. All right. I look like I do, but it ain't mine. My strength comes from God. Is all I have is faith. That's it. I have my belief. I believe that God is going to pull me through, and he always does. I don't allow myself to ever be in defeat. I might feel defeated sometimes. I might feel it, but I don't show it because I trust. This isn't defeat. This is a lesson. This is a lesson. I'm not being punished. I'm being prepared. I'm not down and out. No, I'm being humbled because maybe I got too high up. It's always perspective. But I trust God. So if you trust God, you just got to make it through. That's it. You got to get through what you're going through and then thank God. Thank God every step of the way and find the blessings in it. Don't pay attention to the storm. Don't be like Peter. You know, they saw Jesus on the water. They look out. They go, "Hey, Lord, is that you?" And Jesus is like, "Yep, it's me." He said, "Nah, man, if it's really you," and I'm paraphrasing, y'all. He said, "Nah, if it's really you, then permit me to come out on the water with you." He said, "Well, come on." Peter gets out the boat and he starts to walk on the water, doing the impossible. It's impossible to walk on water. But here he is, walking towards his Lord. And when he's walking, it's like, yo, this is crazy. And then can you imagine it, right? And then he notices the storm. He notices what's going on around him. Number one, I'm doing something that's impossible. Number two, there's a freaking storm out here. There's waves, probably lightning, water hitting him in the face from the rain. It's crazy. It's chaos. This is impossible. And it's scary. So he stopped focusing on what God told him to do. And he started paying attention to the things going on around him, and he sank because he took his eyes off the prize. He took his eyes off of the command that was given to him to walk on the water. Not to pay attention to the things going on around him. Not to worry about the storm. If God's calling you to do something, you can't pay attention to the things that might, destroy you. Can't even look at that because God called you to do something. So you just focus on that, because if he called you to do it, God wants what's best for you, right? Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways, trust him, right? That's what it is. That's just what it is. So make sure that you keep your eyes on the prize. Don't take your eyes off of God. Don't take your eyes off of God. You might be in a down spot. You might be going through something that is messed up, and you can't see the silver lining. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you're there. So ask yourself right now, do you trust God? Do you trust him? Is there something that you're missing? Trust him. Is your life in jeopardy? Do you still got breath in your body? Have people taken your ability to be free, your ability to live? No. Things go away. I lost everything. Right? Every material thing, it was gone. Guess what? God saw me through. And here I am, sitting in front of you, in my own house, my own office, my own computer, my own stuff. God had a plan. He took all that stuff away because he was bringing me something better. Just like Job. God might strip you of everything, take everything from you, just to see if you're going to remain grateful. And then on the other side of that storm is the blessing. Boom, here you go. I know you thought that, I was punishing you, but really, I had all this waiting for you. I just want to make sure that you was ready for it. I wanted to make sure that you was ready for what I have for you. If you was going to remain grateful in your worst time, so I know that in your best time, you're going to still thank me and you're going to glorify me with what you got. And we stray from that sometimes. I did. I was starting to get caught up in it again. I really was. I was starting to get caught up in it again. I love life. I love people. And that's what's important to me. You know what I'm saying? I love this country. I want what's best for the people in this country. But God got to be in the forefront of everything. God got to be in the forefront of every single thing that we do. If we say that we are his children. Me, yeah, I'm an American, but I'm a kingdom citizen. I'm a kingdom citizen first. I challenge everybody to get this book. It's by Miles Monroe. This book is a fantastic book. All right. It's called The Kingdom Within by Miles Monroe. The Kingdom Within. That book changed me big time when I read it while I was locked up. Get that book. And it'll help you. It'll give you some tools. It'll give you some tools to help you be conscious of who you are, who you really are. We got our own personal identities. Everybody, you got your name, you got your job title. You're probably a mother or a father, a sister and a brother. But who are you first? First, you are a child of God. See, that's the key. First, you are a child of God. So when people say, Cash, how do you stay so positive? Cash, how are you? Why are you so much about unity? And it confuses people because it looks like I'm not really taking a stance on some things, like this whole thing that's going on with Julie Kelly. And I misspoke the other day and said Ivan. His name's not Ivan, it's Kyle. With Julie and Kyle, right? And it's not about taking a stance, it's about, or taking a side, it's about taking a stance on what's right. Division amongst people who are supposed to be on the same side is counterproductive. A house divided against itself cannot stand. That was Jesus' words. So if we all fighting for the same cause here, and we all want what's best, and we all want what's good, somebody got to be the voice of reason. You know what I'm saying? I love both of y'all. Cal, I love you. Julie, you know I love you. To the people that you commenting on my on X, asking me questions about all of this stuff, they say, Cash, how do you feel knowing that, Julie, blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, listen, brother, I can't throw no stones at nobody. My house is definitely made of the most fragile glass in the world. Okay? I cannot judge somebody else's wrongs. It ain't for me to do. It's not. I got my own problems. I still haven't pulled the plank out of my own eye. You know what I'm saying? And I probably never will. I probably will never get that plank out of my own eye. I'm not here to judge nobody based off of their life, right? And their choices. Now, you say, well, politics is different. That's a different matter. I'm not judging them people and calling them, horrible. I'm talking about their policies and the things that they've done according to their position, right? But as a person, I ain't got nothing to say about none of these people. And that's how it should be. I'm a uniter. I like to bring people together. That's what I like to do. I like to bring people together. Again, how I stay so positive, how I rise above all the bad things that happen in my life. I just lean on God, man. That's it. And I don't know what's going on, really. I feel like I'm growing. That's what I feel. I feel like I'm growing into who I'm supposed to be. It's more than politics. It's more than that. It's more than all the things that we see in this world, man. We here, but we passing through this. And if I could trust God in my low times, hell, I could trust God with everything that's going on right now. I know that all of this is by his design. All of this stuff that's going on right now is by God's design. Everything's going according to God's plan. And that's how I look at it. So when we see the country and decay and the moral decay and all of the stuff that's going on, yeah, it sucks. And it's hard to see and then not take part in it, be worldly about it, right? And that's what I do a lot of times. Like, I fall into the worldly perspective and it's like, call this stuff out. And that's true, right? But spiritually, I trust God. God knows what he's doing. It says in his word that he's going to separate the wheat from the tares. How do we know that this isn't what this is? Based on, we use politics, right? The political divide that we see. How do we know that's not like a wheat and tares thing going on? Because all of these policies over here, they reflect something that is against what I think, God wants according to this word. So if people support that and they're okay with that, that's between you and God. It's true. You got the freedom. You got the freedom to believe and do whatever you want to do. That is true. God gave you that. But God's hoping that we choose right. In my mind, that's how I feel about it. You may not feel about it. And again, that's between you and God. Is all I'm doing is saying what I feel I'm supposed to say. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to think about that. America, right? America's a beautiful place. I love this country. I do. And I love my brothers and sisters in this country. I love my brothers and sisters all over the world because, a lot of people follow me from all over the place. We had a guy from Africa come on and was talking on my X space the other day. I get a whole bunch of stuff from Australia, Canada, you know what I'm saying? England. I talked to a lady from England, which was dope. I love England's accent, the way that they talk is dope. But I love people. I just love people because I don't see them as the nation that they come from. if that makes sense. I see them as my brother and sister created by God. I go on X, and there's this page on X, right? And I'm live. What is it? Sure, come on. My baby boy. Come on, shut the door. You want to be on the live with me? Yeah. Come on.
Well, when you're done, can I have some juice?
Sure could. All right. You got to just chill though, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I go on X and I see this brother, and his page is dedicated to like, I'm just going to call it white pride. I don't know if he's racist, right? Come on, really? That's what you're gonna do? You're gonna distract the viewers with your hand and stuff?
I'm putting it to this side. Now you can't see it.
All right. Okay, well, hold on. All right. So again, I'm listening to this brother's page, and he's dedicated his stuff to literally here. Okay, you're distracting me now. I love you. I'll be out in a minute. All right. Huh? Yeah, go ahead. Just be careful. Don't spill it. All right. I love you. I love you more. All right. Okay. So I'm sorry. My baby boy, he's distracting. So he's dedicated his page to like white pride, right? Now, most people get upset when they see his content. I crack up because I think it's satire. I'm not all the way sure. I crack up at it because it triggers so many different responses inside of the comment section. People get so upset. And it's like, I get it. I understand why you could be mad about that, right? But this is America, right? And this is where freedoms become tricky. And again, it's all by design. Remember what was said? Jesus said that that Satan rules this world. Satan rules this world, right? But God rules everything. So he's allowing Satan to have his time. So when we look at America and the freedoms that we got, right? It's a slippery slope. Because yeah, you want to respect freedom of speech, which is what this brother uses, right? He uses freedom of speech, social media to promote his opinion about things. Like he had a post up today that said, "Is this sign wrong?" Because it said, "We only want whites to live in this community." So I asked myself the question, I'm like, is that wrong? Well, technically speaking, no. Technically, people are just voicing what they want. Now, some people will go into race behind that and they're like, oh, that's racist. But is it? It depends. We don't know the whole context. We just see a sign. But it triggered so many different responses, people saying different things. So I commented. I said, no. I don't think that this is wrong. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that because there's a lot of places where people it's the same thing as saying that you want a black space. Because I understand that, they're divided in their minds. Some of these people don't want to live around black people, probably never have. And they're scared of black people because of the way that the news portrays them or music or whatever they hear. They think that blacks act a certain way. Whereas on the other side, you have black people who feel that white people are racist because they don't want to be around them, or they have a negative opinion about them because of the things that they see. And those black people also have a negative opinion about them because of things that they may have experienced from an ignorant person that isn't reflective of the whole community. And that's what happens on both sides. But both sides, people want to live around white people. Hey, this is America. You're free to do that. People want to be around black people. Hey, you're free to do that. And I said, for me, I choose to live in a community. I would rather live in a community where people are wanted based off of their character, not off of their skin color. And that was my response. And that's the truth. See, the type of people that I want to live around has nothing to do with what color they are at all. I don't care anything about that. I want to live around people that's got a good character, that believes somewhat similar to me in the instances of peace, love, community, all of that. And that's the slippery slope of being free, right? In this country. you can say all types of things and have all types of different opinions. So freedom of speech gets muddied when you have an ignorant person or a fool speaking their opinions that are based from hate. They come from a base of hate. And then having somebody who doesn't know this person, you don't know the full context of this person and what they truly believe, but you agree with this opinion, but now you're a fan. So now you're being influenced by the posts that come through. And now you may not have had these thoughts before about, blacks, or you may not have had these thoughts before about whites, but now you're adopting it because you're taking in information from a fool who doesn't have the same moral code as you, doesn't have the same love in your heart that you got. But now you're being affected by him because you like his post, right? You see his stance on things and you agree because you're like, yeah, you might have been that little the white girl that just got beat up by all those black people. And now all of a sudden you got this bias in your heart. I'm not saying that she does. I don't know. Maybe she forgives them. I don't know. But that's the kind of situations that I'm talking about. People sharing that video and that's the caption. White girl gets beat up by black Kamala supporters. Instead of these ignorant, misled fools beat up this innocent American girl going to a Trump rally. It's all a tactic, and it's to divide. It's to divide your mind. And the way that we combat that, again, God. What does this say? What does this say? Always go to that. Always return to that. Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways, acknowledge him. It's that simple, This country, man, we headed to a rocky place, man. We are. And again, it's by design. It's by design. Don't fill yourself up with hate for the other side or what you perceive to be the other side. Not all Democrats are bad. Not all Republicans are good. Not all white people are racist. Not all black people are criminals. Not all immigrants are criminals, murderers, or whatever. It's always got to come down to a perspective of God. He says, you'll know a tree by the fruit that it bears. So judge them by their fruits. Judge them by their fruits. Look at their actions. Are all the illegals that come over here, are all of them committing crime? No. Is it are they the blame of why the country is the way that it is? No. It's the government. The government is allowing people to come over here. So our anger is misplaced. Yes, we have a migrant problem. 100%. We have a migrant problem in this country right now. That is true. But it is by design, by the government. Stop being upset at the people and point the finger where it goes. Most of those people want to come over here and do good. They want a better life. Most of them. I will say it. No problem. Most of them. And are they wrong for that? For wanting to come over here? No. If the border's open and they're saying, come on over, they're not wrong for that. It's the government that's allowing it to happen that people should point the finger at and call out. You got to call that out. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that we're seeing, this divide between political parties, losing family, friendships ending because of who you're supporting. That's got to stop. If you say you believe in the same God, then always, again, go back to that. And you say, hey, brother, man, how could you support this candidate, when this is their policy? This is what's going on. This is what they believe in. And this goes against God. I'm not voting for Trump because I like Trump's character. I'm not voting for Trump because I like Trump's hair. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm voting for Trump because, have them kind of conversations and bring it back to God, because that's always going to bring you right back here to the community. And maybe you'll spark a thought, Don't hate nobody because of their color. That's just ignorant. That's just ignorant, man. Always bring it back to God. God said to the disciples, he said, go out and make disciples of all men. All men. He didn't say go out and make disciples of all black men. Go make disciples of all white men. He didn't say that. He said go out and make disciples of all men. We got to cut the division. We gotta cut the division. I see your comment, and this is not. See, that's another thing. You know, I did a live talking about, you know, the difference between the Jews, right? The Jews religion, Judaism, and people who are like Talmudists, right? You got to make that distinction. And this is where people come off as like anti-Semitic, because again, you're lumping everybody together. We can't lump everybody together. Not all the Jews, right? Not all the Jews are what you think that they are. As far as like these evil, you know, that's not the case. I did a video breakdown on it on pill.net. It's the ones that believe in it's like, do the Triple K movement, do they represent Christianity? Are they Christians? No. So those ones that the Jewish people that are in like media or Hollywood, or they are not reflective of the people that really are trying to honor God. God, Yah. They are not reflective of them. We gotta, these labels, man. These labels, they are hurting us. These labels, individuals have to be looked at instead of whole organizations. Instead of saying the Jews, say the people that run Hollywood, the people that, you know what I'm saying? Because it categorizes people there. The ones that are putting out sexual things, you know, about children in movies, because that covers everything. It's not just talking about an ethnicity or a religious group. That's talking about all the evil people that are promoting this type of thing and putting it in the faces of people. There's black people that do that in Hollywood. There's white people that do that in Hollywood. There is Christians, so-called Christians, that do that in Hollywood. There is Jewish people that do that in Hollywood, but it's not singling them out. Now, the ones that I will single out, and this is 100%, is that the ones that go by the Talmud that says that all of us are just cattle and beast. The people that believe that they are God's favorite people and they have the right to harm us and treat us like nothing, and that they're going to have 28,000 slaves when the Messiah comes and it's going to be all of us. Yeah, that I'm against. That's a teaching. I'm against that teaching, not against the people that believe that teaching. And it'll be my goal to try to persuade them to get out of that and see how evil that actually sounds, right? That's how we got to do this. It ain't, you know, people are people, man. People are people. And it's real easy to fall into the trap of judging somebody based off of something. I know, because I used to be a gangbanger. I was taught to look at people based off of the way that they wore their hat. If you had your hat to the right and you had on a certain color, oh, I'm judging you. Didn't even talk to you. I'm judging you. I know what you're about. And that's what we do today. And you know what's crazy is a lot of those people are my friends today that I used to get into it with. We done shot at each other before, you know, and we're friends today. We're friends today because we saw past what we was indoctrinated to think about each other. It's like, oh yeah, he's that, but we're really cool. We got a lot in common. We like to do the same stuff. We got to get to that. Don't judge somebody based off of appearance. It's so much. So how do you rise above the pain? How do you rise above the hate? How do you rise above the division? How do you undivide your mind? The way that you do that, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him. Don't judge a man by nothing other than his actions, his fruits. What is he putting out into the world? And even then, do your best to help get his mind on track by the way that you treat him. Just what I'm doing is calling people to be better people. That's all. Trust God. Trust God, man. When he brings somebody before you that is your complete opposite. Complete opposite. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything is divine and divinely inspired. No coincidences. So if somebody crosses my path that is complete opposite of me, I feel God put them in front of me. What reason? I don't know. But I know that they're there because God wanted them right there. So I personally walk around believing that God is always judging me as far as what am I going to do? It's like, yo, this whole life to me is just a big test. That's how I look at it. This whole life is just one big test. And I've accumulated this thought process over time. I didn't always have it. I believe that now because it helps me navigate life more. It helps me see, okay, I got to meet the need. I got to rise above this fear. I got to rise above these negative thoughts that I have. I got to not do that thing that I want to do. That bad thing that I want to do, I got to rise above that, you know? And that's everybody on this planet. Everybody. Look, I was a womanizer, y'all. I'm talking about bad, real bad. I broke a lot of hearts, and I'm apologize right now for that. To all the women that I've hurt, because I made you think that I was there and I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And that goes all the way back from being a teenager. I apologize to all of you. Didn't have the knowledge that I have today. I would not play with people like that, you know? But it's the desire that made me do it. The desire, because I was indoctrinated to think the more women that you have, you know, the better off you look in society and life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna brag like, oh yeah, Cash got her, Cash did that, Cash. And I wanted that popularity amongst the people that I was around. So then that's another element, is what's motivating your actions. My actions used to be motivated by how people perceive me. I wanted to be the man in the neighborhood. I wanted to be the man. So I would be out, I would fight anybody. I would try to bag every single woman that I came across. You know what I'm saying? I would, you know, I sold drugs to make money. All types of things. All the bad things, because that was my desire. It wasn't the desire to want to get all the chicks. I was married for 10 years and I was for the most part faithful. I did wrong a couple times at the end and in the beginning, but in the middle period, I did pretty good. You know, I tried. But what was the motivation behind that? Always look at that. What's motivating you? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? So the way that I've been helped myself is letting God be my motivation. I want to unite people. I want my kids to look at me and be like, yo, I'm proud of my dad. My dad's a good man. My dad's a protector. My dad provides for me. My dad is great. So that's my motivation. I could cover all bases by seeking God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all things will be added unto you. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you do the things that you do? We say, my people perish from a lack of knowledge. My people perish from a lack of knowledge. Educate yourself spiritually. Educate yourself spiritually. Draw closer to God. He's going to draw closer to you. I am not perfect, y'all. I got so many flaws I can tell you about. You already know. Most of y'all who's been following me for a while know I got a lot of them. A lot of flaws. I am nowhere near where I'm going to be. But I'm going to get there. God willing. But in the moment right now, I'm just trying to do right. And that's all you got to do. You want better? Be better. Do better. You want peace? Be peaceful. You want love? Give love. You want help? Help others. That's it. You want people to care about you? Care about them. It's simple. Do unto others. The laws of God are real simple. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's it. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's that simple. So the good that comes to our lives is because of the good that we do. The bad that comes to our lives, because the bad that we do. You know, it all comes back around full circle. And you can say, well, it's been 5 years. I've been doing real good. I haven't done no bad in 5 years, but you did bad 5 years ago. So it might come back around to give you that test when you're doing good. Because none of us are innocent. It's always going to come back around. All the things that we do in this life, he says you will reap what you sow. You will reap what you sow. So if you're on the path and you're doing these things that I'm talking about right now and you're doing good, keep doing it. Don't stop when that thing that you did 5-10 years ago comes back around. It's going to come back around, and it's going to appear as that test in front of you to see if you're going to keep doing the good. And everybody knows when they done bad. Everybody knows that thing that they did that nobody knows about. And when it rears its ugly head in the future and you got to face it, pass that test. You might be in this situation right now. You might be in that low spot right now where you're like, what is going on? I've been doing so good. It's like, yeah, you are. God's sitting there like, yeah, you are doing good. Are you going to keep doing good? I got to do this. This is justice. This is fair. This is fair. And we account our lives for all the things that we have. How many followers we get. You know, how much money's in our account. The car that we drive. The house that we bought. But when God allows you to lose it all of it, are you going to recognize that you still have your life? Are you going to recognize that the Lord gives and the Lord takes away? I had to come to that. Can you imagine rising up and I'm thinking that I'm just like, life is just going so well. I'm doing so good in life. I'm helping so many people. I've got millions of people know my name. Millions of people sharing my stuff. Millions of people. I'm affecting change. And then boom, taken. You're going to prison. I had my kids since they were born. You don't have your kids no more. You're going to prison. You don't have your money no more. You're not helping anybody else. You're going to prison. And you're going to sit by yourself. Solitary confinement. You're going to be alone. What are you going to do? You know? First, I was upset trying to figure it out. But I praise God. I wrote that song. For all my brothers. I didn't look at my own struggles when I was in there, my own pain. I focused on theirs. That's what I did. I seen that they were going through it. And there was people that lost a lot more than me. You know, millionaires that had lost everything. And I'm like, man, people that had never been away from their children either, missed their family. People's wives divorced them while they were locked up. That's a hurtful pain. You find out a lot. So I focused on theirs. That's another challenge I got for you. Focus on other people's pain and help them out of theirs. And in turn, you'll be helping yourself out of yours. That's another thing. Just keep focused, man. God took it all away or allowed it to be taken away, but he gives it all back and then some. And it might not be the things that you had. It might not be money. I might never get the following back that I had that was huge, right? But I'm so content with what he's given me thus far. I'm thankful. If more comes, great. If I'm able to make more money in life, that'd be fantastic. If I'm able to be viral cash again, that'll be awesome. If I'm able to get a house again that's, you know, something that's huge, cool. If I'm able to get a new car, that'd be amazing. But guess what? I learned to be content with just having breath in my body. I learned to be content with just the things that I have that God gives me, that come natural. Hope for the best, but be content. Be content with what you have. All right? Because people are out there that have less. People are out there that are going through worse. So count your blessings. How you rise above pain? How do you be content? Again, you got to learn to trust God. Trust the process. He's got a plan. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So when you feel you're alone, you're not. He's just sitting there waiting on you. He's probably sitting back in the cut like this, like, yo, you over here crying. You upset. And you ain't even said nothing to me, man. Why you have not brought this before me? Why haven't you brought this to me? Why aren't you talking to me right now? I sat you down for us to talk, and you're not talking to me. Why aren't you casting your cares upon me? That's what God, that's how I look at it. That's how God's sitting there. Why ain't you bringing this to me? I done took everything from you so we can talk, because you had your phone in your hand all the time. So I made it to where your phone broke. You were always taking your car and going and hanging out with those people at the bar. So I had to make your car break down. I had to make you lose your job because you was taking your money and you was doing the wrong things with it. And you never came to me. You never even say thank you. Whatever it is, go to God. And I'm going to leave you with this one. So then the topic of sickness. I say, well, Cash, I hear all of that, but I got stage 4 cancer, and I don't believe in God. Because why would God allow this? Or maybe it's your child. Your child's really sick. Listen to me. God has a plan. And I always think about that when people get sick. And this is how I find the silver lining. Most people in this world, most people go through this life, and they never know when they're going to die. They never even know when it's near. A person that is healthy as an ox, right? Does everything right, could go outside tomorrow and get hit by a car, have an accident, or heart attack out of nowhere, aneurysm pop up, didn't know it was there. Boom, you're gone. And you wasn't right with God. People that get illnesses, hear me out with this. People that get illnesses and the doctor tells them they're terminal and you might have this long to live. That is a blessing. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like that's God's way of saying, giving you that blessing of saying, hey, it's almost time for you to come home. Can you pay a little more attention to me? Let's get close. Let's get close, because I don't want you to not be with me. All right. So I had to give you a reminder how much I want us. I want you to be here with me. So I want you to really think about that and draw close to me. I want you to pray. The people that get sick, man, they have that. They have that knowing, like, okay, it's almost time to go meet God. So what are you going to do with your life? You're probably going to love your family harder than ever. You're probably going to do all the things that you wanted to do. But you get to draw close to God because you know that time's coming. All of us take it for granted. People that aren't terminally ill, we take that for granted. They got the cheat code. And I hope, this is my hope, right? For all of you all who are sick, that you do got a terminal illness, first off, God bless you. Draw close to God, because you never know. I believe in miracles. I believe in healings. And maybe God just used that as a wake-up call. Maybe you do go home soon, right? But God used it as a wake-up call to say, yo, come close to me. Draw close to me. Maybe God used you so he can display a miracle. Either way it goes, you have that knowing. So that's it. That's all I got. That's all I wanted to come on, man, and just share a little positivity and a little perspective, man. All right. We are all one. We're one people. We're one people. Don't become so divided that you can't see that. All right. God loves you just as much as he loves me, regardless of your color, your religion, your politics. God loves you. He created us all equal together. Like, we are all flesh and blood. The racist that hates me, I might save his life with a blood transfusion. It might be my blood that he gets. If I passed away, my organ will maybe save him. We're the same. We're brothers and sisters. All right. Never forget that. Don't become divided and think that these people, based off of all of the things that I just mentioned, are not your brother or your sister. Instead, we pray for them. We try to educate through love. Talk to them. Have the conversations, but do it with love. no matter what it is. All right. That's all I got. That's all I got, you guys. I love y'all. I'm going to try to keep the positivity going and just reminding you who you are. You're loved. All right. You're loved. You're loved by God. You're loved by me. I appreciate all of y'all being here. Thank you for helping me get my platform back. You know, I guess it might be in the cards for me because of all of y'all. Y'all been sharing my stuff. So thank you. Baby on the way. Baby on the way. Thank you guys for all the love from that. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. I will be back on a little bit later. Share a little bit more with you, all right? God bless you. Peace.